This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit. That includes bootstrappers just starting out, established business owners, and business leaders. My goal is to help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Welcome back to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Remastered series. Today's series is about Stan Lee. I talk about the life of Stan Lee and how it can inspire us to start up a business no matter how old you are, change your life, change direction. Of course, I'm going to go into that. And it's very important that you are open to changing direction because, as today's sponsor is again Audible, it was because I was willing to change direction and not look at me being, well, now I'm 35 years old, it's too late for me to start something else. No, I didn't. I decided that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I started listening to books about business, about changing your life, about goals and leadership, and listening to all these books really changed my perspective and started encouraging me to maybe start something new, maybe go in a drastically wild direction that I never thought of going before. Well, actually, I had thought about it, but never seriously considered. And so the book, of course, I recommend is the book that got this all started, which is 48 Days to the Work You Love by Dan Miller. I first downloaded this book years ago as I was struggling to find a job, and especially since I'm trying to find a job in a country that is not my native country, being Norway. So I went and downloaded the book, 48 Days to the Work You Love, and that inspired me to maybe start my own business. And because of that book, that's when I really started downloading other books about business, about leadership, about how to build a business, how to grow a business, etc. And that's where I came to become the entrepreneur I am today because of that amazing book and listening to books. And that's what opened me up to make a drastic change. The age of, I think I was like 36 or something like that. This is now 7-8 years ago. Yeah. So being willing to change your life, no matter how old you are, is very important. The book 48 Days to Work You Love is the one that inspired me to make a drastic change in my life. If you're interested to see how that book inspired me, you can, of course, get a free copy with your 30-day free trial over at audible.com/bootstrap, audible.com/bootstrap, and that's with a capital B. Go there, sign up, 30 days, you get to download one book for free. You get 1 credit for one book, plus 2 Audible originals, plus the ability to listen to any other book and the selection of books that you can listen to on their service. It's an incredible deal. 30 days, free trial, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, but you won't want to because it's amazing. Go check it out, audible.com/capital B bootstrap. And now, a life lesson from Stan Lee. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. I'm going to tell you a story about Stan Lee. In 1961, when Stan Lee was 38 years old, he had been working in the comic book industry for 22 years. He had started when he was 17, and his uncle had got him the job. It was not a very prestigious job. Matter of fact, he was a bit embarrassed to be working there. It was one of those jobs where if you told people what you did, you were afraid you wouldn't get a girlfriend. That type of job. So, yeah, he did it, but, it wasn't something that to be excited about. Then he also was struggling a bit because there was the comics code. And the comics code at the time was very strict. You could never talk about drinking, drugs, any crime whatsoever. Superheroes could fight aliens from space, and that's about it, and say things like plant trees or something. I don't know. It was super, super strict. So they were writing very kind of boring, bland stories. Now, because of this and writing boring, the same story
just slightly different over and over and over again for 22 years. He was done. He was not allowed to do the stories he wanted to do. He would quit and write a novel. His wife told him, write one book the way you want to, one comic book. Get it out of your system. The worst thing that will happen is he'll fire you, but you want to quit anyway. And so he did. He teamed up with Jack Kirby, and he went on to write the Fantastic Four. Not only did it sell well, but it received, in his words, a flurry of fan letters showing its popularity. This gave him the boost he needed to keep going. He decided not to quit and went on to help change both the comic book and movie industries. And now, not only did he change movies and books, he is now super well known. His face, his voice, because of all his cameos, he's immediately and instantly recognizable. So, in the 57 years from that time until his passing on November 12th of 2018, at 95, his whole life had changed. So, when I originally wrote the blog that accompanies this podcast, Stanley had just died, and why would I pick this part of his life to remember? Well, it's because it contains a very important lesson, which is this: as long as you're drawing air, it is not too late to find success and happiness in life. Never give up. Even if life has been rough on you, or you're living paycheck to paycheck in a dead-end job, it's not too late to change. All you need to do is decide to start. You just have to start. Often we keep doing the same thing day to day and expect and hope for something different. This, of course, is one definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different. That's insane. How old is too late? Can't really say. Grandma Moses was a painter. She started painting at the age of 78 years old and created over 1,500 works of art before she died at the age of 101. Colonel Sanders, who started KFC, he started that at the young old age of 65 years old. And let's not forget, we cannot ever forget Mr. Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson himself, who was completely unknown until he was 46 years old. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Matter of fact, just Google the phrase famous or successful after 40 for a lot more. Matter of fact, even in the classic business book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about how many people are not successful until they're in their 40s. So there's something to this where if you're 40, 50, 60 years old, it's not too late for you. If you're young, you're listening to this, you're like, but I'm only 20 years old. Do I have to wait till I'm 40? No. The point is, start. If you start now, take steps, move, get off your butt, do something different. If you're working a dead-end job, start looking at ways to get out of that. Just start. You have to do something. It's not too late to start. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 88. All you need to do, like I said, is to start. Even if the path is rough, and it likely will, it will be rewarding and definitely well worth it.
If you found value in this content, please leave a comment and give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, and most other podcast platforms. If you would like to support us, you can check out our sponsor links, or if you'd like to support us directly, you can donate or join our membership program at buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Of course, it really helps when you share these podcasts with your friends as well. If you'd like to interact with me and other bootstrappers and leaders, you can join us over at our O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, an Athos Business Solutions podcast. For our companion podcast, the Athos Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair, past episodes and related blogs, please check out our website at www.athos.com, which is at www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.